Stop for a moment and don't scroll away, because this is not just another message you randomly came across. There is a reason your attention stopped here, a reason you felt something pull you toward these words. This is that quiet feeling inside you, that holy nudge in your spirit that you may have been ignoring. And right now, God is asking you to listen. Not later, not when things get easier, but now. You have felt this before, haven't you? That subtle voice, that inner push telling you something needs to change, something needs your attention. But life gets busy, distractions take over, and slowly that voice becomes quieter. Yet it never fully disappears, because it was never meant to. That nudge is guidance. That feeling is direction. That discomfort you sometimes feel is not there to confuse you, it is there to wake you up. God is speaking to you through that feeling, trying to guide you towards something better, something aligned with your purpose. Maybe you have been feeling restless lately, like something is off, like you are meant for more, but you are not quite there yet. That is not frustration, that is a sign. A sign that something within you is ready to grow, ready to move, ready to step into a new phase. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to truly listen this time. Because ignoring this nudge will only keep you in the same place, but listening to it can change everything. Now take a slow breath and stay present, because this is where clarity begins. You have been trying to figure things out for a long time, trying to understand what direction to take, what decision to make, and what step comes next. And in that process, your mind has become filled with noise, overthinking, doubt, and uncertainty. But the answer you are looking for is not in overthinking, it is in awareness. That holy nudge you feel does not come from your logical mind. It comes from a deeper place within you, a place that already knows what you need to do. The problem is not that you don't know. The problem is that you don't always trust what you feel. God is guiding you, but you are questioning the guidance. You are waiting for a bigger sign, a clearer confirmation, something undeniable. But what if this is the sign? What if this moment, this message, this feeling is exactly what you have been asking for? Take a deep breath and let that thought settle in. You don't need more signs. You need to trust the ones you already have. Because the longer you ignore them, the heavier that feeling becomes. And the moment you start listening, everything begins to shift. Now allow your body to relax and your breathing to slow down, because this is where you reconnect with yourself. You have been so focused on everything outside, people, situations, expectations, that you forgot to listen to what is happening inside you. And inside you, there is a clear message waiting to be heard. That nudge you feel is not random, it is specific. It is pointing you towards something. Maybe a change you need to make, a decision you have been avoiding, or a step you have been afraid to take. Fear often disguises itself as hesitation, making you think you are not ready, making you think it is not the right time. But growth never feels completely comfortable. God is not asking you to feel ready, He is asking you to trust. Take a deep breath and notice what comes to your mind when you think about change. That is your answer. That is what you have been avoiding. And the longer you avoid it, the stronger that nudge becomes. Not to pressure you, but to guide you. Now go even deeper into this moment and allow yourself to feel without resistance. There is something powerful about acknowledging what you truly feel instead of pushing it away. That inner nudge you keep feeling is trying to bring something into your awareness, something important that needs your attention. It could be a habit you need to change, a path you need to leave, or an opportunity you need to take. And even though part of you already knows this, another part of you is resisting it, holding back, staying in what feels safe and familiar. But staying in the same place will not bring you the change you are hoping for. God is gently pushing you forward, not to make your life harder, but to lead you into something better. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself actually listening to that nudge, actually taking that step. Notice how it feels. There may be fear, but there is also a sense of rightness. a sense that this is what you are meant to do, and that feeling is your confirmation. Stay here and take a slow, deep breath, because this is where things begin to become clearer for you. That feeling you have been experiencing, that quiet nudge, is not here to confuse you. It is here to guide you toward alignment. For a long time, you may have been trying to move forward while ignoring what your spirit has been telling you, and that creates a kind of inner resistance. It feels like you are trying hard, but not moving anywhere, like something is missing even when everything seems fine on the outside. That is because your actions and your inner guidance have not been fully aligned. God is not trying to make things difficult for you. He is trying to bring you back into alignment with what is right for you. And the moment you begin to listen, truly listen, things start to shift. Take a deep breath and think about what has been coming to your mind repeatedly over the past few days or weeks. That is not random. That is your direction. You do not need to force clarity. You need to allow it. And clarity comes when you stop resisting what you already feel. Now allow yourself to go even deeper into this moment and bring your focus inward. There is something within you that already knows the truth, something that does not need logic or explanation to understand what is right. But your mind often tries to override that feeling, bringing in doubt, fear, and overthinking. It tells you to wait, to be more sure, to avoid risk, to stay comfortable. And while that may feel safe in the moment, it keeps you from moving forward. God is not speaking to your fear, He is speaking to your faith. That holy nudge you feel is not coming from fear, it is coming from a place of knowing. Take a deep breath and separate those two feelings. Fear feels heavy, tense, and limiting. Guidance feels calm, even if it asks you to step outside your comfort zone. Right now, you are being asked to trust that calm knowing. Even if the path is not fully clear, even if you do not know every step, you are being guided in the right direction. And the more you trust that, the stronger it becomes. Now let your breathing slow down even more and allow your body to fully relax, because this is where you begin to release resistance. Resistance often comes from holding on to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves you. It is the fear of change, the fear of the unknown, the fear of stepping into something new. But holding on to what no longer aligns with you creates tension within your life. That is the discomfort you have been feeling. It is not punishment, it is a signal that something needs to shift. God is gently pushing you out of that comfort zone, not to harm you, but to grow you. Growth requires movement, and movement requires letting go. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself releasing that resistance. Let go of the need to control everything. Let go of the need to know every outcome. You do not need certainty to take the next step. You only need trust. And right now, you are building that trust within yourself. Now bring your awareness back to your heart and notice how it feels when you think about actually following that nudge. There may still be fear, but there is also a sense of truth, a sense that this is the right direction for you. That feeling is important. It is your inner confirmation. God is not asking you to take a giant leap all at once. He is asking you to take one step, just one. And that one step is enough to begin the shift. You do not need to have everything figured out before you start. Clarity comes through action, not before it. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself taking that first step. Notice how it feels, not perfect, not completely comfortable, but right. And that is what matters. You are not meant to stay where you are forever. You are meant to move, to grow, to evolve. And this moment is your opportunity to begin. Stay here for a moment and take a slow, deep breath, because what you are about to understand can change the way you see everything that is happening in your life right now. That feeling you have been experiencing, that quiet but persistent nudge inside you, is not something you should ignore any longer. For days, maybe even weeks, it has been showing up again and again, sometimes as a thought that will not leave your mind, sometimes as a feeling you cannot fully explain. and sometimes as a sense that something in your life is not aligned the way it should be. You may have tried to ignore it, distract yourself from it, or convince yourself that it is not important, but it keeps coming back. And the reason it keeps coming back is because it is meant to be heard. God does not always speak through loud, obvious signs. Often, the most powerful guidance comes in the quietest form, through your intuition, through your awareness, through that inner voice that gently pushes you in a certain direction. The problem is not that God is not speaking. The problem is that you have been trying to listen with your mind instead of your spirit. Your mind looks for proof, for certainty, for guarantees. But your spirit recognizes truth without needing all the answers. Right now, you are being guided to trust that deeper knowing within you. Take a deep breath and think about what has been repeating in your life lately. Maybe it is a decision you keep avoiding, a situation that no longer feels right, or a path that you know you should walk but have been hesitating to take. That repetition is not random. It is guidance trying to get your attention. And the more you ignore it, the stronger it becomes. Not to pressure you, but to help you wake up to what you already know deep inside. You're not confused because there is no answer. You're confused because you're not fully trusting the answer you already feel. There is a difference, and once you understand that, everything begins to shift. Now take another slow breath and allow yourself to imagine what would happen if you actually listened to that nudge. Not tomorrow, not someday, but starting now. What would change in your life? What decision would you make differently? What step would you finally take? There may be fear that comes up when you think about that, and that is completely normal. Fear is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. In many cases, it is a sign that you are stepping outside of what is familiar. And anything unfamiliar will naturally feel uncomfortable at first. But discomfort does not mean danger. It often means growth. God is not leading you into something to harm you. He is leading you into something to expand you, to move you closer to the life you are meant to live. The longer you stay in a place that does not align with you, the more that discomfort will grow. And that is exactly what you may have been feeling lately. A sense that where you are right now is no longer enough, no longer right, no longer aligned. That feeling is not something to suppress. It is something to understand. It is telling you that you have outgrown your current situation, your current mindset, or your current environment. And growth always requires change. Now take another deep breath and allow yourself to release the need to have everything figured out before you move forward. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need to know every step. You only need to be willing to take the first one. That is how clarity comes, not before action, but through action. Each step you take will reveal the next one, and the more you move, the clearer your path becomes. Staying still out of fear only keeps you in confusion. Movement creates clarity. Right now, God is asking you to move, even if it is just a small step. It could be a conversation you need to have, a decision you need to make, or a change you need to begin. It does not have to be big. It just has to be real. Take a deep breath and feel that truth within you. You already know what that step is. You may have been avoiding it, but you know, and that knowing is your guidance. Now imagine yourself actually taking that step. Notice how it feels. There may still be uncertainty, but there is also a sense of relief, a sense that you are finally moving in the right direction. That feeling is important. That is alignment. And the more you follow it, the stronger it becomes. Over time, what once felt uncertain will begin to feel natural. What once felt difficult will begin to feel easy. But it all starts with that first decision to listen instead of ignore. So right now, in this moment, make that decision. Not based on fear, not based on doubt, but based on that quiet, steady knowing inside you. You are not being guided in the wrong direction. You are being guided towards something better. And the only thing standing between where you are and where you are meant to be is your willingness to trust that guidance and take that first step forward. Stay here and take another slow, deep breath, because what you are feeling right now is not random, and it is not something you should push away anymore. There has been a pattern in your life recently, something repeating itself in different forms, different situations, or even different people. At first it may have seemed like coincidence, but deep down you know it is more than that. It is a message. God often speaks through repetition, through patterns that continue until you finally notice them and understand what they are trying to show you. Maybe it is a situation that keeps making you feel the same way, a cycle you keep finding yourself in, or a thought that keeps returning, no matter how much you try to ignore it. That is not there to frustrate you, it is there to teach you. There is something in that pattern that requires your awareness, something that needs to change in order for you to move forward. Take a deep breath and think about what keeps repeating in your life. What situation, what emotion, what struggle keeps coming back. That is where your attention is needed. And instead of avoiding it or wishing it would disappear on its own, you are being guided to face it, to understand it, and to grow from it. Growth does not happen by running away from what feels uncomfortable. It happens by moving through it with awareness and trust. Now take another deep breath and allow yourself to look at that pattern without fear. You are not being punished by it. You are being prepared through it. Every repeated situation is showing you something about yourself, your choices, your boundaries, or your direction. And once you understand the lesson, the pattern no longer needs to repeat. That is how you break cycles, not by force, but by awareness. God is guiding you to see clearly now, to recognize what has been hidden in plain sight. You may have been asking for change, asking for clarity, asking for direction. And this is how it is being given to you, through these repeated signs and experiences. The question is not whether guidance is there. The question is whether you are ready to accept it. Now take a deep breath and imagine yourself responding differently the next time that pattern appears. Instead of reacting the same way, you choose awareness. Instead of avoiding it, you face it. Instead of staying stuck in it, you grow from it. That one shift can change everything. Because the moment you change your response, the cycle begins to break. And when the cycle breaks, your life begins to move in a new direction. There may still be fear in making that change, and that is completely normal. Fear appears whenever you step outside of what is familiar. But staying in the same pattern will not bring you the life you're hoping for. Change is required, and right now you are ready for it. You may not feel fully ready, but you are more ready than you think. God does not guide you towards something you cannot handle. If the message is coming to you, it means you have the strength to act on it. Take another deep breath and feel that strength within you. You have already overcome so much in your life, even moments when you thought you would not make it through. And yet, you are still here. That is proof of your resilience. That is proof that you can handle change. Now imagine what your life could look like if you finally broke that pattern. If you stepped out of that cycle and into something new. It may not be perfect, but it will be different. And different is where growth begins. Staying the same may feel safe, but it also keeps you limited. Moving forward may feel uncertain, but it opens new possibilities. And right now, you are being guided toward those possibilities. So do not ignore this moment. Do not ignore what you are feeling. This is not just another thought that will pass. This is guidance asking you to pay attention. Take one more deep breath and make a quiet decision within yourself that the next time that pattern shows up, you will not respond the same way. You will choose awareness. You will choose growth. And in that choice, you will begin to change your life in ways you may not even fully understand yet. But one thing is certain, the moment you stop ignoring the message, everything begins to shift. Stay here and take a slow, deep breath. and allow yourself to fully settle into this moment, because something important is unfolding within you right now. There is a quiet awareness beginning to grow, a realization that maybe you have been feeling this inner nudge for longer than you first thought. It did not just start recently. It has been there in small moments, in subtle thoughts, in feelings you brushed aside, telling yourself you would deal with it later. But later never really came, did it? Life kept moving. Distractions kept pulling your attention away. And that voice inside you slowly became something you learned to ignore. But it never disappeared. It stayed there, patiently, waiting for you to finally listen. And right now, you are listening. God does not rush you. He does not force you. But He will continue to guide you until you are ready to receive the message. And now, you are at that point. You may not fully understand everything yet, but you can feel that something is shifting inside you. That shift is awareness. And awareness is the beginning of change. Take a deep breath and think about the moments when you felt something was not right, when something inside you said, this is not where you are meant to stay. Maybe it was a situation that drained you, a habit that held you back, or a path that did not feel aligned with who you truly are. In those moments, you felt the nudge, but instead of acting on it, you stayed. Not because you wanted to stay, but because it felt easier, safer, more familiar. And that is where many people get stuck. They choose comfort over growth, familiarity over purpose. But comfort does not lead to transformation. Growth does. And growth always requires a decision. Right now, you are being brought back to that decision. Not in a rushed or overwhelming way, but in a calm and clear way. You are being shown what you need to see, so you can finally choose differently. Take another deep breath and allow yourself to imagine what would happen if you truly honored that inner voice. What would you change? What would you leave behind? What would you finally begin? These are not random thoughts. These are answers that have been waiting for your attention. And the more you sit with them, the clearer they become. There may still be hesitation, and that is okay. Change is not about having no fear. It is about moving forward despite it. God is not asking you to eliminate fear completely. He is asking you to trust more than you fear. And that trust grows the moment you start listening to yourself instead of doubting yourself. Now take a deep breath and notice how you feel right now compared to before. There is a slight difference, even if it is small. There is more awareness, more clarity, more connection to what you truly feel. That is not by accident. That is what happens when you stop running from yourself and start listening. And the more you practice this, the stronger that connection becomes. Over time, what once felt confusing will begin to feel clear. What once felt uncertain will begin to feel guided. But it all starts here, in this moment, with your willingness to listen. So do not ignore this feeling again. Do not push it aside thinking you will come back to it later. This is your moment to begin. Not by making a huge, overwhelming change, but by simply acknowledging the truth within you and being willing to act on it. Because the moment you do that, even in the smallest way, you begin to step into a different version of your life, one that is more aligned, more clear, and more true to who you are meant to be. Stay here and take another slow, deep breath and allow yourself to sink even deeper into this moment. Because what you are beginning to realize now is something that can change the direction of your life. For a long time, you may have been waiting for clarity to come from outside sources, from other people, from situations, or from some big sign that would make everything obvious. But what you are starting to understand now is that clarity has never truly been outside of you. It has always been within you, quietly waiting for you to trust it. That holy nudge you keep feeling is not confusion, it is clarity, trying to reach you through a different language, a language of feeling rather than logic. And because it does not always come with clear explanations, you may have doubted it, questioned it, or even ignored it. But the more you ignore it, the louder it becomes, not in volume, but in persistence. It keeps showing up in different ways, in different forms, until you finally stop and listen. And right now, you are listening. That means something is changing. That means you are ready to receive what you have been asking for. Take a deep breath and think about how many times you have felt something was right or wrong deep inside, even when everything on the surface seemed fine. That feeling was your truth. And every time you ignored it, you felt a kind of inner tension, a sense that something was off. That tension was not there to punish you. It was there to guide you back to alignment. God uses that feeling to help you recognize when you are moving away from your path and when you are moving toward it. And right now, you are being guided back toward alignment. There may still be uncertainty. There may still be questions. But there is also a growing sense of knowing. That knowing is what you need to trust. You do not need to understand everything all at once. You just need to follow what feels true in this moment. Take another deep breath and imagine yourself making decisions based on that truth instead of fear. Imagine choosing what feels right instead of what feels safe. That shift alone can change everything. Because when you act from truth, your path begins to open in ways you could not see before. Opportunities begin to appear, clarity begins to increase, and your confidence begins to grow. But it all starts with that one decision to trust yourself. Now notice how your body feels when you think about trusting that inner guidance. There may still be a slight hesitation, but there is also a sense of relief, a sense that you are finally allowing yourself to move in the direction you were meant to go. That relief is important. That is alignment. And the more you follow it, the stronger it becomes. Over time, you will begin to rely less on external validation and more on your own inner knowing. You will start to feel more certain, more grounded, and more connected to your path. But that transformation does not happen all at once. It happens step by step, moment by moment, choice by choice. And right now you are making one of those choices. You're choosing to listen. You're choosing to be aware. You're choosing to trust. And that is enough to begin. So stay in this moment a little longer. Breathe deeply and allow this realization to settle within you. You are not lost. You were simply not listening before. And now that you are, everything is beginning to change. Stay here and take a slow, deep breath. And as you breathe in, allow yourself to become fully present in this moment. Because something very subtle yet powerful is happening within you right now. This is not just about understanding with your mind anymore. This is about feeling with your entire being. For a long time, you have been moving through life on the surface level, reacting, thinking, analyzing, trying to figure everything out. But beneath all of that, there has always been a deeper layer, a quiet awareness that has been observing everything without judgment. And that is where God is speaking to you from. Not through noise, not through pressure, but through stillness. That holy nudge you keep feeling is coming from that place. And the more you slow down, the more clearly you begin to hear it. Take another deep breath and notice how your body feels right now. Notice the calmness that is slowly spreading, the way your thoughts are becoming less intense, the way your awareness is becoming sharper. This is what happens when you stop running from yourself and start being present with yourself. And in this presence, something important begins to reveal itself. You start to see that the answers you have been searching for were never missing. They were simply covered by noise. Noise of overthinking, noise of fear, noise of outside opinions. And now, as that noise begins to fade, your inner voice becomes clearer. That voice is not loud. It does not demand attention. It gently guides. It tells you what feels right, what feels wrong, what needs to change. and what needs your attention. And right now you are beginning to trust it more than before. There is a shift happening from doubt to trust, from confusion to clarity, from resistance to acceptance. And that shift is everything. Because the moment you start trusting your inner guidance, your life begins to move in a completely different direction. Take a deep breath and imagine what your life would feel like if you always listened to that voice, if you always honored that feeling instead of ignoring it. There would be less confusion, less struggle, and more flow. That does not mean everything would be perfect, but it means you would be aligned. And alignment changes everything. When you are aligned, you make better decisions, you choose better paths, and you attract better experiences. And that is exactly where you are being guided right now. There may still be moments of doubt, and that is okay. Doubt is part of the process. But what matters is what you choose to follow, the doubt or the knowing. And right now, you are learning to choose the knowing. Take another deep breath and allow that choice to settle within you. You're not forcing anything, you are simply allowing yourself to follow what feels true. And that is how real change happens. Not through pressure, not through fear, but through awareness and trust. Stay in this moment a little longer and let yourself feel that calm, that clarity, that quiet confidence growing within you. Because this is not just a temporary feeling, this is the beginning of a new way of being. A way where you are more connected to yourself, more aware of your path, and more trusting of the guidance you receive. And from this place, everything in your life begins to shift naturally, without force, without struggle, simply because you are finally aligned with who you truly are. Stay here and take another slow, deep breath. And as you breathe out, allow everything that feels heavy within you to begin to soften. You have been holding on to so much for a long time. Thoughts, emotions, expectations, pressure, and even things you never fully processed. And over time, all of that created a kind of weight within you. A heaviness that you may not always notice, but you feel it in moments of silence, in moments when you are alone with your thoughts. That heaviness is not there to stay forever. It is there to be released. And right now, you are being given that space to release it. God is not only guiding you forward, He is also helping you let go of what you no longer need to carry. Take a deep breath and imagine that weight slowly lifting, not all at once, but little by little. You do not need to force it, you just need to allow it. Because healing does not happen through force, it happens through awareness and acceptance. There may be things you are still holding on to, past situations, regrets, things you wish you had done differently, or things you wish had never happened. But holding on to them does not change them. It only keeps you stuck in that energy. Right now, you are being guided to release that attachment. Not to forget, not to ignore, but to accept and let go. Take another deep breath and allow yourself to feel that release. It may feel unfamiliar at first, because you have been carrying this weight for so long that it became normal. But you are not meant to live in that heaviness. You are meant to feel light, clear, and at peace, and that is exactly where you are being guided. As you continue to let go, something new begins to take its place. Space. Space for clarity, space for peace, space for new energy to enter your life. And that space is powerful. Because when you create space within yourself, your life begins to reflect that openness. New opportunities, new perspectives, and new experiences start to appear. But none of that can fully come in if you are still holding on to the old. That is why this moment is so important. This is not just about understanding your path. This is about clearing the way for it. Take a deep breath and feel that truth within you. You are not losing anything by letting go. You are making room for something better. And that shift in perspective changes everything. Instead of seeing release as loss, you begin to see it as growth. Instead of holding on out of fear, you start trusting in what is coming next. God is not taking things away from you without reason. He is making space for what is truly meant for you. And right now, you are beginning to trust that process. There is still more ahead, more growth, more clarity, more transformation. But this step, this moment of release, is essential because it prepares you for everything that is coming. So stay here a little longer, breathe deeply, and allow yourself to fully let go of what no longer serves you. You do not need to carry it anymore. You are ready to move forward, lighter, clearer, and more aligned than ever before. Stay here and take a slow, deep breath, because what you are about to feel now is different. Up until this point, you have been releasing, understanding, and becoming aware. But now, something begins to open within you. A kind of breakthrough, not loud, not dramatic, but deeply real. It is the moment where things start to make sense, where you begin to see your life from a new perspective. For a long time, you may have believed that you were stuck, that nothing was changing, that things were not working in your favor. But what you are starting to realize now is that everything was happening for a reason. Even the parts that felt confusing, even the parts that felt painful. Those moments were not there to stop you. They were there to shape you. Every challenge you faced was preparing you for this level of awareness, this level of understanding. And now you are seeing it differently. Take a deep breath and think about your past, not with regret, but with clarity. Look at how much you have grown, how much you have learned, how much stronger you have become. Even the moments where you felt lost were actually guiding you towards something deeper. And right now, you are beginning to understand that you were never truly lost, you were learning. That realization alone is powerful, because it shifts your mindset from victim to growth, from confusion to purpose. God was not working against you, He was working through your experiences to bring you here. And now that you are here, everything begins to align in a new way. You start to see opportunities where you once saw problems. You start to feel hope where you once felt doubt. You start to trust where you once feared. And that is the breakthrough. It is not about everything outside suddenly changing. It is about you changing within. Because once you change within, everything outside begins to reflect that change. Take another deep breath and feel that shift inside you. It may feel subtle, but it is real. You are no longer the same person who started this journey. You are more aware, more grounded, and more connected to yourself. But you will face them with a new mindset, a new level of trust, and a new sense of calm. That is what makes the difference. Not the absence of problems, but the presence of clarity and strength within you. God is not just changing your situation, He is changing you. And that change is what will lead you to everything you have been searching for. So stay in this moment, breathe deeply, and allow this breakthrough to fully settle within you. Because this is not the end of something. This is the beginning of something new. A new way of thinking, a new way of feeling, and a new way of living that is more aligned with who you truly are meant to be. Stay here and take another slow, deep breath and allow yourself to fully feel the shift that has been happening within you. This is no longer just about awareness. This is about becoming. You are not just understanding things differently. You are starting to feel different, respond differently, and see your life through a clearer lens. For a long time, your reactions may have been automatic, driven by fear, doubt, or past experiences. But now there is space between your thoughts and your reactions. There is awareness, and in that space, you have a choice. That choice is your power. God is guiding you to use that power wisely, to choose calm instead of panic, trust instead of fear, and clarity instead of confusion. Take a deep breath and notice how different that feels. You are no longer controlled by every thought that comes into your mind. You are observing them, understanding them, and choosing which ones to follow. That is a major shift. And with that shift, your entire life begins to change. Situations that once felt overwhelming begin to feel manageable. Decisions that once felt confusing begin to feel clearer. And challenges that once felt heavy begin to feel like opportunities for growth. This is not because your life has suddenly become easier, but because you have become stronger within yourself. And that strength is what will carry you forward. Now take another deep breath and bring your focus to the present moment. Right now, in this exact moment, everything is okay. You are here, you are breathing, and you are aware. That is enough. So often, your mind tries to pull you into the future, into worries, into what might happen, into things that have not even occurred yet. But peace does not exist in the future. It exists right here, in the present. And the more you train your mind to stay here, the more peaceful your life becomes. God is guiding you back to this moment again and again, because this is where your clarity is, this is where your strength is, and this is where your true self exists. Take a deep breath and feel that grounding. Feel your body, feel your breath, feel this moment. This is your anchor, and no matter what happens outside, you can always return here. That is your stability, that is your foundation. As you continue on this journey, you will begin to notice that you are less reactive, less stressed, and more centered. Things that once triggered you will not have the same effect. Situations that once felt chaotic will feel more manageable. And that is because you are no longer operating from the same level of awareness as before. You have grown, and that growth is not something that can be taken away from you. It becomes a part of who you are. God is not just guiding you through a temporary experience. He is helping you build a new way of being. A way where you are more calm, more clear, and more aligned with your true path. And as you continue to live from this place, your life will naturally begin to reflect it. Opportunities will feel more aligned, relationships will feel more balanced, and your overall sense of peace will continue to grow. But it all comes back to this moment, your ability to stay present, to stay aware, and to trust what you feel. So stay here a little longer, breathe deeply, and allow this transformation to fully settle within you. Because this is not just a phase, this is the beginning of a new foundation for your life. One that is built on awareness, trust, and inner strength. Stay here and take a slow, deep breath. Because now you are entering a space of deeper understanding, a place where everything begins to come together. You have felt the shift, you have noticed the awareness, and now you are beginning to see your life with a new clarity. There was a time when everything felt uncertain, when you questioned your path, your decisions, and even yourself. But now, something inside you feels more stable, more grounded. That is not coincidence. That is the result of you finally slowing down and listening. God has been guiding you this entire time, even in the moments when you felt lost. And now you are starting to recognize that guidance more clearly. Take a deep breath and think about how far you have come, not just in your life, but in your understanding of yourself. You are no longer reacting the same way, thinking the same way, or seeing things the same way. That is growth, and that growth is preparing you for what is next. There may still be unknowns ahead, but they no longer feel as overwhelming as before. Because now you trust yourself more. You trust your ability to handle whatever comes your way. And that trust is what creates stability within you, no matter what is happening outside. Now allow yourself to go even deeper into this calm state and feel the peace that is beginning to settle within you. This peace is not something temporary, it is something you are learning to create from within. For a long time, you may have believed that peace comes from external circumstances, from things going your way, from everything being perfect. But now you are beginning to understand that peace is a choice, a state of being that you can return to regardless of what is happening around you. God is guiding you to build this inner peace so that it becomes your foundation. Take a deep breath and feel that stability within you. Even if things around you change, this calm place inside you remains. And the more you connect with it, the stronger it becomes. This is what allows you to move through life with confidence, without being shaken by every challenge or uncertainty. You are no longer dependent on outside conditions to feel okay. You are creating that feeling from within. And that is true strength. Now bring your awareness back to your heart and notice how it feels in this moment. There is a sense of trust growing within you, a quiet confidence that everything is unfolding the way it is meant to. This does not mean you have all the answers, but it means you are no longer afraid of not having them. That is a powerful shift. God is guiding you to trust the process, to understand that not everything needs to be known right now. Some things are meant to unfold over time. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to relax into that trust. You do not need to rush your journey. You do not need to compare your path with others. Everything is happening in its own perfect timing. And the more you accept that, the more peaceful your journey becomes. You are no longer chasing clarity. You are allowing it to come to you naturally. Now slowly let everything settle within you as this journey comes to a close. And take one final deep breath, because this moment is more important than it may seem. You did not reach this point by accident. You stayed, you listened, and you allowed yourself to be present. And that alone has created a shift within you. God brought you here for a reason, to remind you that you are not alone, that you are being guided, and that your life is moving in the right direction, even when it does not always feel that way. Everything you have felt, everything you have understood in this moment, is something you can carry with you beyond this experience. This is not just a message you heard, this is a realization you experienced. And that realization will continue to guide you in your daily life. So as you move forward, remember this feeling, remember this clarity, remember this calmness. Because no matter what happens next, you now know how to return to this state. You now know how to listen, how to trust, and how to move forward with awareness. Your journey is not ending here. It is just beginning in a new way. Stay calm, stay aware, and stay connected to that inner guidance. Because what is ahead of you is not something to fear. It is something to step into with confidence, knowing that you are being guided every step of the way.